Hi everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have the next video for you in this American line. It's the Tier VII T20. As always, we will have a look at the tech spec using blitzhanger.com, which is an excellent asset and should be used by all blitzers. Now, before we get into the tech spec, this is a medium tank, following on from the EZ8, which follows on from the M4 Sherman. And it is a good medium tank, and a good follow-on from the Shermans that you would have played before. Now, in terms of provisions, I would run Coca-Cola to max out the view range, which gives you 302 meters of view range, which is quite nice at Tier 7. There are two gun options, a 76mm and a 90mm, and they have different characteristics which we will look at in due course. Now, the 76mm gun has better theoretical DM, but of course you need to pen, and that can be a problem with such low penetration numbers. You get 128mm of pen versus 160 on the 90mm. You get 177 with your APCR Pramo versus 243 with the 90mm, and you get 38mm of pen on HE versus 45 on the 90mm gun. Muzzle velocity is 792 versus 853 on the bigger gun, and you get 1030 and 1109 respectively muzzle velocity when you use supercharge, which I would recommend you do. Reload times are interesting: 3.5 seconds on the 76mm gun, 6.4 seconds on the larger 90mm gun, or 3.8 and 7.2 if you use calibrated shells. Now, I would run vertical stabilizer because this is a fast moving tank. You're going to fire a lot when you move, therefore it makes sense. In terms of gun depression, you have 10 degrees of gun depression and 25 degrees of elevation, which is a lot. And that gives you great, actually I would say amazing gun alignment. Gun alignment is basically being able to line up your barrel with your target, and on this tank it's very easy given that depression and elevation. It's a fast tank. It does 56 kilometers per hour and 20 in reverse. It's fast, mobile, agile tank. Although a medium tank, it has a lot of characteristics of a light tank. It also has a decent power to weight ratio, which is unlike the tanks which preceded in Tier 5 and Tier 6, which were slow from stop starts. This tank is not. It also has a very good traverse, which makes it a great brawler. It is slower traverse than some medium tanks, but it is decent and makes it a good brawler. It has good concealment numbers. A tank with a view range of 290 meters needs to get in within 219 meters of view when you're still and not firing, which is very good. He has to get pretty close to spot you up, even if he has good view range, so the concealment numbers are good. Now, looking at the armor profile, we see it doesn't have any, right? And it also has a very small gun mantlet. Little bit of armor on the turret, but not much. As I said, it has a lot of light tank characteristics, and one of those is its armor profile. Very easy to pen, and you'll be penned by almost everything, and you're a bit of a HE magnet. As you can see, even when you're top tier, you can be pretty much penned by everything, front, on, sides, and back. And with the big guns like an SU-152, or if you're up tiered, the Rim Borsig, you will be one-shotted on occasion, so you need to be very aware of that. And that's one of the challenges with this tank. Its lack of armor means that it can be penetrated by HE rounds, and of course that can make your game end very quickly and can lead to a lot of frustration. But it has good characteristics to combat that. It has speed, view range, and concealment numbers, which allow you to get out, spot those big guns up, do yourself a favor, and do your allies a favor. Now, in game one, we're going to have a look at this tank with a small gun, because this tank is quite different if you mount a small gun versus mounting the larger gun. If you mount a small gun, it's very much like the 723 E3 Tier 7 Premium American tank, in that it has this rapid firing 76mm gun, right? So if you run gun armor, you're going to have like 3.5 second reload. Even if you run calibrated shells, you're going to have 3.6 second reload. It's really good. You can see here I'm running gun rammer, but calibrated shells is also a very good option to use. Now, I'm going to cap here in this tank and using, I checked the setup and decided I would go to D. I've spotted up the Bulldog here. I know there's probably somebody else at C, so I decide that I'm going to go down towards A and B, see if I can do some more spotting, and I was right. The enemy, there's a number of enemy tanks around C, so it's good I didn't pop out there. I would have got smashed. I'm going to go down and see if I can spot up what is around B, and I have a few customers who are going to pop up here, and I'm going to spot, and I've spotted up now quite a number of the enemy tanks for my teammates. And this is what I mean, I've kind of stayed out of trouble and I've spotted up the enemy. Now we have an isolated T32, and I'm going to come down and see if I can do some damage on him. He fluffs his shot, he rushes it, he only tracks me, doesn't do any damage. And now you can see the beauty of this a very fast reloading gun. I can get around this guy and I'm just going to pump rounds into him. Once I drop adrenaline as well, I have really fast reload. You know, it is like just around 3 seconds once I dropped adrenaline. Now, you saw there the shot bounced off the back, and this is why you saw there, looking at this, let's just slow it down. Look at how red the T32 is when you're running the small gun. Difficult to pen, but the sides are easy to pen. The back part, the lower back part, is easy to pen, and of course with the speed and agility I am able to clear him off. Now the T44 comes to help him, comes too late. Now I'm going to get into a brawl situation with the T32, and I'm going to use the Hulk of the dead the T44. I'm going to get into a brawl situation with him. I'm going to use the Hulk of the dead T32 to give me some cover. You can see that when he's front onto me, I have to aim very carefully to pen him. Right here underneath, a lot of the front of the tank is red with the running small caliber gun. Try to track him there, fluff the shot, get around him. I'm counting his reload. I think I have enough time to get in the last round before he hits me again, but he must have dropped adrenaline, or perhaps I miscounted and he gets another round into me and leaves me with only 76 hit points. Not a very good situation for yours truly, but having taken out the 2 tier 8s, I now have given my team a great chance to win this game. Now again, you're going to see here the lack of pen of the smaller caliber gun when mounted. Now it says here that I have penetrated, but actually I just blew a module. I actually didn't do any damage. You can see here it's difficult to pen with this, even on the back of the AT. So for the last kill I decided to load up on APCR. You see I got another bounce there just off the angle, and the APCR goes through. So decent game, 3 kills, I think a mastery badge. Yeah, mastery badge delivered, 2.8k of damage. You can say I finished top in damage, top in terms of XP. Now as I said, running the 76mm gun is not a bad option. You can see there it's able to deliver a mastery badge even when up tiered, but it depends on your game style. If you like to fire a lot, get out and get around the enemy and have a smaller gun that fires a lot, then the 76mm gun, as you saw in that game, is an option. If you like to do more damage per round, not expose yourself so much, then you would probably be better off mounting the 90mm larger gun. Now we're going to have a look at another game when I have the 90mm gun loaded up, and this is on Naval Frontier, and it is a supremacy game. Now I check the setup here and I decide I am going to go to B. Why? Well, I have good view range. I know that because they have heavy tanks, they're probably gonna cross this wide area here towards A, which is the heavy tank channel on this map. So I know if I get into position, use soft cover, I have a good chance of spotting up the enemy heavies as they move across and even put in some damage. And bingo, there we go. I decided to make certain of my shot and take the slower moving target, the big goose. Put a round into him, spotted him up, roll back into cover, nice and safe. And I've done a good job there. Put 1 round of damage in and spotted up 3 enemy tanks for my team, relayed positions to them. Now I have another customer, the same tactic, roll out, put a round into him, and also relayed his position to my allies. Now the SU-12244 here, I don't really know what he's trying to do. Maybe he wasn't aware or didn't see me there. Now he's kind of stuck in between me and the other medium tank, the P-43, and the big guns, which are over there on the far hill. I pop down. I know he has a longer aim time, so I'm going to put some rounds into him. And you'll see here I get a bounce here because I'm going to thread a shot through the eye of the needle here. He has a small amount of time, so he hasn't had time to aim his gun properly at me. That's why I get the bounce. He didn't have time, the SU has a long aim time. He didn't have time to let his aim settle properly, which is why I got the bounce. Otherwise he would have smashed me for quite a bit of damage. And we're able to clear him off. My allies able to take him out. Now I decide to relocate. This of course is one of the key tactics in any medium tank. We always say the tactics in a medium tank are arm, assess, reassess and move. So I didn't have good fields of fire open to me there. So now I've moved, I've assessed, reassessed, I've moved into a position, I've opened up new fields of fire, and then we have a new customer checking out of the store Shea Pants. Now again, deciding to move, I got one cheap shot into me there as I was spotted up as I moved away from the kill on the IS. Again, assess, reassess, move. This is the key role of a medium tank, as we discussed in the medium tank guide. You are the CPU of the team. You should be processing the information available throughout the game and adjusting your tactics and your position on the map accordingly. You have speed, you have a fast firing gun for that reason, to get out there and to influence the game. And as you can see, when I came up to here, we were a tank down. And because I take out this ISU, which is a big dangerous gun on the enemy team, we are going to go a tank up. So you can see assess, reassess, move, and I have put this game back in favor of my team. Let's have a look here at how agile this tank is. The ISU has no chance of escape. He is just stuck. And you know, with 90mm gun, I have no problems penning him. As you saw, it's a lot easier than it is with the 76mm gun if we compare both games. Now again, I'm going to move. We have capped C. We're now a tank up, so we've totally rectified the situation. And I'm going to come now to support my allies. But I'm not only going to do that, I'm also going to cap A as well, put us into an even stronger position. Now you can see here, even with the 90mm gun, I cannot pen that IS-6 without switching up to APCR, which I do, and then I'm able to pen. So again, if you are playing this tank, even if you've got the 90mm gun mounted, you really need to load up some APCR in case you're up tiered. Because up against an IS-6, KV-4, KV-5, IS-5, etc., you will need that APCR to pen from some angles, even if you're running calibrated shells. By the way, I wouldn't run calibrated shells with the 90mm gun because the reload time goes up over 7 seconds. I think it goes up to 7.2, 7.3 seconds, which to my mind is way too long of a reload on a tier 7 medium tank. And I also don't think it makes such a huge difference that it's worthwhile losing that DPM. So again, you can see another mastery game delivered with the 90mm gun, this time over 3k of damage, 1.1, almost 1.2k of XP delivered. And again, it shows that it is possible to master this tank and to play this tank well with either gun, even when you're up tiered. Again, I would just say it goes down to your play style. I didn't really notice during the game, but there was an awful lot of premium tanks on the other team. Just noticed that now while we're looking at the efficiency. You know, it depends on your game style, guys. If you like a fast moving medium that fires a lot of rounds and has the potential to do more damage, and you know the spots to pen on a tank, then the lower caliber gun will work for you. If you like the 723 E3, then the T20 with the 76mm gun is very, very similar. Indeed, if you would like that tank, don't have the gold to buy it, you can run this T20 with the 76mm gun. It's a very, very similar tank. If you prefer peekaboom, if you prefer to do more damage and have a more reliable pen, then run the 90mm gun. As you saw from the games, there isn't really a bad choice. It depends on your personal preference and game style. So let's have a recap. This is a good medium tank. It's perfect practice for a higher tier when you go up to 9, 10, even to 8. Two gun options, both work. Depends on your playstyle, as we've discussed when we're looking at the gameplay. If you use the lower gun, then I would consider using calibrated shells because that extra pen does make a difference and it doesn't increase the reload time that much. Use the top gun though with gun ram or otherwise, and this is just my opinion, but I think the reload is too long for a tier 7 medium. 3.5 to 3.8 second reload on 76mm if you run calibrated shells, 6.7 but almost 7.3 if you run calibrated shells on the 90mm, which I think is too long. It's a good power to weight ratio, this tank, and it's a big improvement on the previous tiers. Traverse is good, which makes it a great brawler, as you saw in those 2 games. And the gun alignment is amazing, so you utilize that. It's very easy to get your gun lined up with your targets with this tank, regardless of which gun you run. I would use the speed, camo and view range to spot and find those big guns on the other team, because you have little or no armor. It's more like a light tank in that respect, and you need to know where the big guns are so that you don't have a very short, very painful game. Cheers much. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it enjoyable. And I guess all there now remains for me to say is pants off.